What's going on, guys? Chad here with you, and welcome to episode 1 of the DJI MAVIC show. With all the growth on my channel and all of the great questions and comments there and all over the Facebook groups and stuff, I figured, hey, we might as well start maybe a live show, or at least I would do a weekly show of what the hot topics and news are out there that is surrounding the Mavic, because the thing is just hotter than fire. There's just updates and apps and filters and just all kinds of awesome stuff happening constantly with this thing. So thanks to all the subscribers, thanks to all the viewers, thank you to everybody for what you have taught me. Continue to improve this and that, and hopefully we can just keep on moving forward with everything. So why should we do a show? Well, there's a lot of new pilots. I've already went over the growth and everything like that. There's a lot of new first-time drone owners. There's a lot of first-time Mavic, Mavic owners. We're all first-time, I guess. And just something to do, because I just can't get enough of this Mavic. I know I made a video a while back talking about, hey, is it becoming a joke? Yeah, nah, it's not a joke. I love it. I fly the thing almost every day if I can. It's my favorite drone to fly. I've had some issues with the video and the camera, but I'm not a professional, and it's kind of hard to figure some of this stuff out. It's not like the Phantoms that I've flown before and the 3DR stuff, or the NASA quads that I've built. You know, this thing is hot, brand new technology, and we're all working together to basically learn this stuff. A couple quick things. Thanks to everybody on the DJI MAVIC Facebook group and the Everything MAVIC Facebook group. Definitely recommend you guys check them out if you're not already a subscriber. Join that group. There's a lot of great people out there and a lot of good information. My story real quick, I'm pretty much just a professional hobbyist. I'm an engine nerd by day and a geek by night. I build FPV planes and mini quads and tiny whoops and do all kinds of crazy stuff with RC. I belong to a really cool club. Great guys teaching me a lot. These guys are amazing 3D acro pilots. They all have Phantoms and stuff too, so it's just great. It's a great hobby. Welcome. If this is your first drone or first RC aircraft, you are in for a treat. So we're going to basically break the show down into a couple categories. News and questions. So if this works out and everybody shows interest and stuff, maybe we can do a live show or a hangout or something like that, or we'll do this. I'll do this update maybe every week or two, depending upon what's going on. Let's just get started with the news. Today, the 18th of January, Lychee did release a new update on iOS. I'm an iOS user. I'm not sure about Android. There was no major stuff, just some bug fixes and some crashing things. DJI has also released their own ND filters. If you're looking for ND filters, I've got a couple of my videos on there about them. There's tons of information about ND filters. They're really fun to play with. I own a set of Taco RCs. I'm sure that the Polar Pro ones are probably the best ones out of them all, but at 3 times the price. I'm not a professional videographer. I don't get paid to shoot Mavic movies or anything, so I'm good enough with the Taco ones. Chinese New Year is upon us. You might have to wait for your Mavic a little bit longer, or some of your accessories. I regularly order things from Banggood, GearBest, and stuff like that for my other quads, and it's a big red letters and banners on their website saying that it's Chinese New Year. Your stuff isn't going to be there for at least 2 to 3 weeks longer, on top of the 2 months sometimes it takes to get there to you. So keep that in mind. Check your emails, see what DJI is up to. I'm not sure how it actually is going to affect them, but it probably will. So let's get to the first round of questions that I've seen floating around. And these are like questions and topics that have been on the different groups and forums and everything like that. The first question I saw today was people talking about remote control battery life. And this kind of concerns me because I only get about maybe 5 to 6 batteries out of my remote before I have to charge it. My Phantom 4 remote, I had that Phantom 4 for 4 or 5 months. I probably only had to charge the remote 4 or 5 times, and I flew it like crazy. Some people say the same thing, and some people say that it lasts forever. There's no really cause or reason why. There's rumors or speculations out there that if you're flying too far, it's working harder. If you're flying too close and you're using HD, it's working harder. If your phone's dead, it's charging your phone, it's working harder. I don't know. Put down in the comments and let me know and everybody else know what you think and what kind of battery power that you're getting. Question 2. This is pretty much asked every day, everywhere. What kind of editing software do you guys use? You're going to get a 50-50 answer from 100 people. 50 are probably going to tell you Adobe Premiere. 50 people are going to tell you Final Cut Pro. Windows, Mac, everything else is out there. I can only tell you what I use personally. I use Adobe Premiere Pro. Because I'm part of their rental program because I didn't have the $500-600 to buy it. I know, I wish I did because I hate paying $50 a month, but that gives me everything, including Lightroom, which they have a $10 a month package for Lightroom for photos. So that's a pretty nice deal for you beginners out there if you want to start off with editing some of your photography. And it's pretty cool. You can move the sliders and get all your information in real times. So that's pretty fun, right? When it comes to Adobe Premiere, I've only been using it for 4 or 5 months. I used to use iMovie, and before that, I used Windows Movie Maker. So that got me through a long time. When I got into doing a lot with the 2.7 and the 4K video, that's when I needed something a little bit more powerful because I needed to trim that stuff down, cut it down, take the quality down using these things called proxies and edit it and then spit it back out at 4K. So it's not hard, it's not impossible. It might seem a little too much, but there's plenty of tutorials out there on YouTube. Start off with just small little bits and pieces like learning how to add titles, learning how to edit sound, this and that. This video here, by the way, is just going to be completely unedited. It's just going up. I might put a title on it probably, and that's about it. So anyway, comment, tell us what you think, what might be easier for a beginner. I know there's Sony Vegas, there's GIMP for photos, there's all kinds of different things out there, and some of them I'm not aware of. And that kind of leads into question 3, which is camera settings. Camera settings on the Mavic are a little bit tricky. I typically shoot everything at 2.7K at 30 frames a second. I pick my white balance based on whether it's sunny or cloudy. I shoot at ISO 100. I shoot in manual mode, and I sit there and work my shutter speed basically to keep the little EV as close to 0 as I can. Unless I'm using ND filters, then that pretty much changes everything because those are like sunglasses and they cut the light out, and that's not part of this question. When it comes to the styles, Cinelike is pretty much what everybody is shooting in at the moment. If you're a beginner, and you don't want to edit, the recommended settings that the majority of people are saying is -1, -1, -1 on your little style thing down there. If you're into editing, -1, -2, -2, or -1, -3, -3. For the fact that it's a lot easier to add sharpness and add color and this and that than it is to take that stuff away and degrade your image. If you have a newer, faster computer, you can probably get away with shooting in 2.7K and editing it just fine. If not, just shoot everything in 1080p. Pretty much everybody uploads everything to YouTube to 1080p anyway, so you're really not losing that much. 2.7K looks great, but it all comes down to getting the most out of it and alleviating the frustration, which is a big reason why I don't shoot in 4K, just because I don't upload anything in 4K, rarely. And the Mavic, it's pretty much been well put out there that the Mavic codec doesn't spit the 4K out at a high enough bit rate to even take advantage of what 4K can do. That's why they made such a big deal about it with the Phantom 4 Pro, with the H.265 and the 100 megabit per second. I'm not sure what numbers they are or whatever. So anyway, try those out, and if you got any other suggestions, put them in the comments. Let us know. Fourth question. What devices are everybody using? I see a lot of questions about Android iOS, Samsung Tab versus NVIDIA Tab, blah, blah, blah. It really comes down to if you're locked into a phone contract, things like that. I use a iPhone 7 Plus. I use an iPad Mini 3 as well. I use my Plus a lot because it's small and compact and convenient. I like the big screen of the iPad Mini 3, but the Mini 3, being about 3 years old now, seems to lack some of the processing power, even though it's supposed to be compatible, which it is, it runs, but I do get some drop frames and some freezing and stuff like that with it, where I don't get on my iPhone 7 because of that. So the other thing too is Lychee and Autopilot work great on my iPhone, but not on the old iPad. So that basically tells me that these apps are becoming more, intensive, and they need more processing power, which is basically why DJI dropped the Go app and went with the Go 4 app, so they could slim it down and make it run a little bit more efficiently. So I don't know, tell us what kind of success you guys have had, what lists of devices that are not on the DJI unapproved list that you are actually using. If you want to get into FPV, then you're probably going to want to get an Android device, something like an NVIDIA Shield that has an HDMI output, and then you can connect up to a set of goggles. A lot of people are even recommending VR goggles and using that with the Lychee app. That's something cool. I'd really like to hear about that experience and if it is actually worth it, and what kind of goggles you guys are using. Can you get away with using Google Cardboard, or do you need an Oculus Rift? I'd really like to know. And that's pretty much going to do it for this episode. Wanted to try to keep it short and sweet. Like I said, comment. Let's see how the feedback goes, and if you guys like this, maybe we can do a live show. We can all just sit here, talk it out, ask questions, bounce some ideas off of each other. Keep an eye out, for some of my reviews coming up on the channel. I've got the reviews on these little deflector shields here, which everybody knows about. Landing legs from Amazon, $10. Definitely recommend. They stay on, they get your Mavic up out of the grass and stuff a little bit more. They come off real easy for storage. If you're using the Fly More bag, I leave mine on and put it in my Lower Pro backpack, so not a big deal. So that's going to do it, guys. I hope you guys enjoy this. Hopefully we can keep on building this, and we'll see you later. Have a good night.